Alright, so 1960, man, I haven't talked about this coin in quite some time. There's a lot of different stuff to look for here on the 1960 Lincoln penny. Now, first off, we want to determine if your coin has a small date or a large date. Well, here is the difference. So we see here on the left side the small date. Now, if you look at the inside of the zero, it's kind of not got that much space in it. But if we look at the zero on the right side of the screen, on the large date, you see that it's much more opened. So, that's one way that I typically always, can determine really quickly if it's a large date versus small date. And really, if you look at the 6, and you see those two lines there, you look at the 6s there side by side, you can really tell a big difference in those 6s. There's much more space on the large dates from the top of the 6 to where the 6 curves, as opposed to the small date. It's much smaller gap there. So what all do you want to look for on the 1960D? Well, first, here's an example of a 1960 D mint mark. Now first I want to show you that D mint mark has been repunched. So if we look right above where the D mint mark is, you can see the outline of another D mint mark there. So that is a repunched mint mark. That D mint mark has been repunched. So here's another example of a repunched mint mark that you can look for. So it's a much different, looks much different than, the last repunched mint mark that we looked at. Now here are some other mint marks as well that you can, just always be on the lookout for. You can look for, repunched mint marks on various different types of coins. Always be on the lookout for that. In my ebook that I'm releasing, I will have a list of which ones to actually look for. Now, here is a 1960 large date that is over a small date. So the double die obverse, we got the 1960 large date over the small date. We see that doubling here on the word Liberty as well. Very, very visible doubling there. And then here we have some other images of that as well on the proof penny from 1960. So we see that on the date, and again, the word Liberty. Really awesome type of doubling. So if you ever come across proof sets or anything like that and you see a 1960, get your coin loop, coin microscope, and check it out and see if you can see that any doubling on those coins. Alright, so first is a 1960 D mint mark. So it has that repunched mint mark. It has the double die obverse, the small date over the large date, and it does have a high grade of a Mint State 65 red by PCGS. Now this coin here sold for around $375. So, it's not like it's sold for tens of thousands, but still, it's a very, very awesome coin to have in your collection. 375 bucks, I'll take it. But here's a more expensive coin. Now this coin here is graded at a Mint State 66 red. It is the 1960D with the large date over the small date, what we just looked at. So this penny here sold for over $4,000. Next up is a 1960D. Now, of course, this is not going to be graded at a red. This would be graded at a brown because of the color of the penny, of course. Now, this coin is graded at an AU50, so much different grade than the Mint State 65, Mint State 66. But it does have the D over the D, the repunch mint mark, with the small date over the large date. So same thing that we've been looking at, however, just in not as good as condition, much lower grade than the Mint State 66. This coin sold for around $65. So you see a big difference in prices, $65 versus $4,000 and $375. Big gap there in prices depending on the condition of the coin. Now here is a 1960 large date. There's no errors on this coin, no double dies, nothing like that on this coin. The sole value comes from it having a Mint State 67 grade. So that grade will give it a lot of value. This coin sold for around $3,800. That's right, 3,800 bucks. Now if we look at the 1960 large date that is graded at a Mint State 64 red, even a Mint State grade, not much lower than the last coin that we looked at, coin only sold for around 13 bucks. So, you know, it's going to be really difficult to get that mint state 67 grade. So 64, 67, big difference in values there. Now here is a 1960 small date, and this is on the proof coin. So if you're not familiar with what a proof coin is, you know, check out my proof coin versus business strike coins. You know, proof coins are not intended for circulation like the typical business strike coins that you see in your everyday pocket change. Now this penny here sold for over $5,000, and of course that is because it has that proof 68 red deep cameo grade. Now for the small date, they have the mintage listed at 588 million. The large date mintage they have listed at 158 million. So a lot less of the large date than the small date. Now on the small date, this 1960 small date, it's graded at a mint state 67 red. So again, we have that very, very high grade. The coin grading scale goes up to 70 for anyone that's new to coin collecting. So being at a 67 is very, very good. Now this penny here sold for around $3,300, so a $3,000 penny. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle. Check out the videos to the left of me. And until tomorrow, you know what to do. I will see you guys in the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.